padres no tuvieran que dormir fuera de casa y pudieran volver el mismo día? ¿Tendrán algo así los de Vaughan?
Lo tenemos. Se llama Urban Camps. Llámanos al 91-133-5832 y te lo contaremos todo. 91-133-5832. Este verano tus hijos van a vivir un montón de aventuras en inglés. Y sin salir de Madrid, en los Urban Camps tenemos un montón de aventuras y temáticas disponibles y todo sin que los peques tengan que dormir fuera de casa. Tu reserva ya en campamentosvaughan.com. Urban Camps, aventuras en inglés. No las dejes escapar. Disfruta de los Urban Camps en Las Rozas, Colegio Europeo de Madrid, en Aluche, Colegio Santa Gema Galgani, Las Tablas, Colegio Estudiantes, en Metropolitano, Ciudad Universitaria, CMU Isabel de España y en Arganda, Colegio Say Virgen de la Soledad. Infórmate de los campamentos de Vaughan en campamentosvaughan.com.
¿Y a ti? ¿Se te hace cuesta arriba el inglés? Clases 100% método Vaughan para todos los niveles que te darán el empujón que necesitas para vencer todas tus dificultades con el idioma.
Infórmate en Barcelona en el 933398687. En Madrid 91-133-5833. En serio, no lo dejes para septiembre. En Barcelona en el 933398687. En Madrid 91-133-5833. Este verano tenemos un montón de planes para ti y tus hijos, para toda la familia. Ven a Vaughan. Disfruta el verano con Vaughan. Más información en grupovaughan.com. Aquí comienza Inglés Online TVE.
Everybody, hello and welcome. It is time for class number 88, everybody. I hope folks are ready. We're live. Yes, I'm sorry for the delay. It's actually class number 88. Aunque pone en el video, even though it says on the video class number 87, it is, of course, class number 88, the course Inglés Online TVE, Inglés Online TVE. Of course, and we got lots to cover today, right, Juanjo? Está Juanjo. Juanjo and I are here having a great day, pasándolo bomba, no? We're having a great time today, and, right? Eso es. And, anyway, we have lots to review, and join us on the stream. You can connect to the stream. It is on YouTube, Inglés Online TVE, Inglés Online TVE. And you can join the chat as we are live, and you can, send us any questions you may have, and we'll review the content together of class number 88. Okay. Of course, if you missed the class, you can also see the class on the YouTube channel. So there's no reason not to subscribe. We have Fernando says, "Hello, teacher. I'm Fernando from Colombia." Now, I would say it's more common to say it's Fernando from Colombia. Okay, and Oscar says, "Hi, Kyle." So, hello, Oscar. Valentino, hi. He says, "Hello, folks," which is my way of saying, people, amigos, friends. Folks is like folk music. Folk music is like the music of the people, la música del pueblo, no? Like Bob Dylan, a great folk singer. So it's like roots music, de los raíces, de la gente, right? So folks means people, right? Okay, so Marcel Mann says, hello, Kyle, say something typical from Canada. Well, I don't know. Typical from Canada, I don't know. I don't know. Everything I say is typical from Canada. How's that for a response, Marcel Mann? Let's go ahead and begin with today's beginner content.
Nivel básico.
Our beginner sentence, he never has coffee during the week. Eso es mentira. Como Juanjo, nunca toma café durante la semana o entre semana. Entre semana.
Yeah.
During the week. Yeah, when we say during the week, we would mean as opposed to on the weekend, right? So during the week would be, and what we also say weekdays, de lunes a viernes, from Monday to Friday, weekdays, the days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the days of the week, the weekdays. Well, actually, the days of the week include Saturday and Sunday, right? 7 days a week. But weekdays are the días laborales, right? Work days, typically. Monday through Friday. Okay, so he never has coffee during the week. Now, this is interesting because, tomar un café is to have a coffee. We don't say to take a coffee. We say to have a coffee. Now, I have several coffees every day. I had a coffee this morning. I had a coffee at about 8:30 in the morning. I had another coffee at about noon, and I had another coffee at about 3 p.m. So I have had 3 coffees today. Now, to take a coffee, you could say to take, but that would be to physically transport, como llevar un café de un sitio a otro, right? To take a coffee from my house to the office, for example. To take it somewhere. Yeah, pero tomar un café, of course, we say to have a coffee. He never has coffee during the week. Entre semana, we could say during. Now, notice I don't say during. I say during. During. So durante, in this case, during the week. Let's see. Chema says, hi, I have a little joke. The character who had a great time with Epi was Blast. Epi and Blast, yeah. The thing is, that only works in Spanish. Epi Blas. Because in English, they're called Ernie and Bert. Ernie and Bert, yeah. Epi Blas. Yeah. Belen says, I usually drink 35 coffees during the week. Really? Belen, that's a lot of coffee. So, do you drink coffee on the weekends as well? So 7 days a week, 5 coffees a day. My gosh, that's a lot of coffee, Belen. Maria Pilar says, hi, Kyle, and everybody. This is Maria Pilar. Here's her in quotation marks. I'm wondering if it's the same on writing like in a call. I don't understand what you mean. It's in writing. Belen says, you can't beat homemade coffee first thing in the morning. It's true. Yeah, it is good. Okay, and Pablo says, hi, Kyle. Lately, I've been following Inglés Online TVE, and it's awesome. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoy it. Okay. Antonio says, hello, friends. It is also, I also have coffee, juice, and beer, a soft drink to have some water. Yes, absolutely. To have some water, to have a meal, right? To have a snack, to have dinner, to have lunch, to have supper, to have a Coca-Cola, to have a coffee, to have a beer, right? We never take these things. We say to have, okay? Belen says, yes, I drink coffee. Now, she should say on the weekend. She said at weekend, but no, on the weekend. On the weekend. Although, no, British people do say at the weekend, but you need the article there, the weekend, on the weekend or at the weekend. Okay, so our beginner sentence today, he never has coffee during the week. Now, I never really had coffee. I never drank coffee regularly until I was about 20. Until I was, well, when I was in university, that's when I started drinking coffee. I think that's probably true for many of us, right? But anyway, our sentence today, he never has coffee during the week. Okay. So let's see. My technician is gone. My technician, Juanjo, is gone. He's left the room, but he'll be back in a minute. And but we will go ahead, though. Let's go ahead and take a look here at our intermediate content. It says, could I speak to Mr. X? Oye, ¿podría hablar con el señor X? Could I speak to Mr. X? Oh, good morning. This is Z. I'm calling on behalf of Y. Interesting. Could I speak to? ¿Podría hablar con el señor no sé qué? Could I speak to Mr. X? ¿Podría hablar con el señor X? Could I speak to Fitz, please? So this is good to have to know how to address people on the phone is very important. ¿Podría hablar con el señor Smith, por favor? Could I speak to Mr. Smith, please? Could I speak to Mr. Smith, please? Could I speak to Fitz, please? Excuse me, could I speak to Juanjo, please? So this is a perfect way to begin your call, okay? If you have to speak on the telephone in English, you're calling an office, looking for someone. Hello, could I speak to blank, please? Perfect. There you go. And then the example continues. Oh, good morning. This is Z. Oh, good morning. So this is the other side of the conversation. Oh, this is Kyle. I'm calling on behalf of, en nombre de. I'm calling, estoy llamando. I'm calling on behalf of, and then you name the company or the person that you're calling for, right? So I could say, hi, this is Kyle. I'm calling on behalf of Kyle Miller Company, Kyle Miller and Associates. I would like to speak to John, please. Could I speak to, so could I speak to, podría hablar con, could I speak to John, please? Could I speak to Fitz, please? Oh, good morning. This is Z. I'm calling on behalf of Y. So I'm calling representing Y, but I'm trying to speak to X. So my name is Kyle. I want to speak to Fitz, but I'm calling on behalf of Juanjo. So imagine if Juanjo is my boss, I'm calling on behalf of Juanjo. Could I speak to Fitz, please? This is Kyle. Now notice I say, this is, hi, hello, this is Kyle Miller speaking. We don't say, I am Kyle. And this is something that I've seen even in our chat today. Hello, teacher, I'm Fernando. No, it's Fernando. Hi, it's Fernando. Someone knocks at the door. Who is it? It's me. It's Kyle. Right? I don't say I'm Kyle. We say it's Kyle. Okay? So we've seen several examples here in the intermediate example. Okay, let's see here. Antonio says, hello, friends. Oh, yeah, he talks about to have a juice, to have a drink, to have a beer. And Julio says, hi, Kyle. Greetings from Guadalajara City in Mexico. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, Maria Pilar. Should I say presentación? But in a note, for example. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what Maria is. She says, hi, Kyle. This is Maria Pilar. I'm wondering if it's the same in writing as in a call. So when you present yourself. Now I understand you, Maria Pilar. Yes. So how to present yourself, for example, on a call. Hello, it's Kyle Miller speaking. But yeah, if you write a letter, that's a good point. Hello, my name is. I would say, hello, in a letter. My name is Kyle Miller, and I'm writing from Vaughan Systems. Hi, this is Kyle Miller. I'm writing to you from Vaughan Radio. I'm writing on behalf of the team at Vaughan Radio. And you say, en nombre de, no? I'm writing to you on behalf of the team. But yeah, that's a good question, Maria Pilar. Now, Valentino says, you started drinking when you were at university, just as a stimulant or to be much more active? Well, yeah, just to stay up later because I was studying. I started studying a lot, and I needed something to keep me awake, right? Because I was studying late. I had exams, and I studied a lot, and so I drank a lot of coffee while I was at university. Another thing I used to do in university, I used to go to the supermarket late at night. There was a 24-hour supermarket, a 24-hour grocery store. So I would go and get groceries like at midnight when it was quiet. So there'd be no lines. So it was much more efficient and much quicker. So I could go in, get exactly what I need, and get out very quick if I did it at night, as opposed to doing it during the day. And I would be up anyway, studying and doing things kind of late at night. I've always been a bit of a night owl. A night owl, someone who likes the night, someone who stays up late, doesn't mind staying up late. We call them a night owl. I think I've always been a bit of a night owl. I don't stay up very late, but probably later than most people. I'm a bit of a night owl. Yeah. So Antonio says, so presentación. He's speaking a bit of Spanglish. I introduce me. No, you don't say I introduce me. Now, so in a letter, hello, I'm writing to introduce myself. My name is Kyle Miller, and I'm writing to you from Vaughan Radio, for example. That's perfect. It depends what you're trying to say. I'm writing on behalf of, en nombre de, on behalf of Vaughan Radio. Right? So you could say that. Or on a phone call, I'm calling on behalf of Vaughan Radio. Or I'm calling on behalf of my colleague, Juanjo, for example. Okay. So there are a lot of ways that you can begin a letter. In fact, I have a book called Business English. Tu guía para conseguir trabajo y triunfar en los negocios en inglés. Business English, a book that I wrote a few years ago. And in the book, there's a section all about writing emails. There's also a section about cover letters, right? Cartas de presentación. And I show all sorts of different ways to introduce yourself in that book. So it's a good tool for someone who needs English at work. So writing emails, English on the telephone. And I don't have a copy of it here, but I could someday soon bring the book and use it in our review as well. And we can look at some structures for writing letters and for emails and for English on the telephone. So if you need to do English, if you need to speak in English on the telephone, that would be a good book for you and a good chapter in that book. It's called Business English from Vaughan Systems and written by me. And it's available now at vaughantienda.com. You can find that book. Valentino says, a night owl, not an early bird. So there you go, exactly. An early bird, someone who wakes up early. A night owl, someone who stays up late. And Chema says, how do you spell behave? Is behave written B-E-H-A-V-E? Absolutely. Comportarse, to behave. To behave. All right. It's time to get advanced, everybody. Let's go ahead with today's advanced content.
Nivel avanzado.
All right, everybody. Advanced content today. I recommend looking at a map. Here we go. I recommend is followed by the ing. I recommend looking at a map. I recommend studying English every day. I recommend calling him, right? I recommend asking him if you have any problems. I recommend going there. I recommend visiting Canada. I recommend buying I recommend buying a good bag for carrying your books. Whatever. So recommend followed by the ing. I recommend looking at a map before setting off. That way you won't get lost. So to set off means to start your trip, to start your voyage. Right? Like Christopher Columbus, he set off from Palos de la Frontera. Right? Partir de viaje, as Belen says. That's right. To set out. We set out. Yes, he set out on his voyage. He set off on his voyage. Either one. That's right. From Palos de la Frontera. Right? Columbus, he set off in 1492. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, we say. Yes. So yes, I recommend looking at a map before setting off. That way you won't get lost. Así. That way you won't get lost. Right? Perderse, to get lost. That way you won't get lost. I used to get lost a lot when I first came to Spain. I used to get lost all the time. So I went to El Corte Inglés and I got a map, one of those free maps. I don't know if they still have them, but they used to give away very good free maps. So I got one of those maps and I would carry it in my pocket. I used to carry it in my pocket everywhere I went. And when I got lost, I'd pull it out. This is because I didn't have a phone. I didn't have a smartphone at that time. So I'd get lost and I didn't know where I was. So I would take out the map and figure it out. And I would take buses around the city. And by taking buses, you observe a lot and you learn about the city. You learn the layout, right? The organization of the city. And you get your orientation. And now I know Madrid, well, pretty well. The areas that I go to regularly, of course, I guess anyone could say this, but the areas that I'm familiar with, I'm familiar enough with that I don't get lost anymore. And now in the age of the smartphone, it's not necessary to carry a paper-based map. But yes, our sentence today, I recommend looking at a map before setting off. That way, you won't get lost. Así no te perderás, no? That way, you won't get lost. Belen says, I recommend going there, but I recommend you go there. Okay, yeah, I recommend you go there. You could say that too. I recommend you go there. I recommend you try it. I recommend you study English every day. Right? I recommend, and then more generally, without the you, I recommend studying every day. I recommend listening to English every day. I recommend making listening a part of your day-to-day routine. And it is so important. I was talking about this earlier on. It's so important to make the process enjoyable. Use the learning tools that you enjoy so that you'll spend time with the tools. You'll spend time learning. You'll spend time reading because you love the book. You'll spend time studying because you love the material. You'll go to class. You'll spend time in the class because you love the class. So I recommend that you find the tools that you love. I recommend you find a strategy that you love and the tools that you love and the materials that you love. All right? Okay, people are writing in. Valentino says, can you say on behalf of? Yeah, I'm writing here on behalf of. Sure. Absolutely. Marcel Mann, how do you say barrio de la Judería? Oh, the Jewish neighborhood. Sure. So a neighborhood is barrio. Yeah, sure, a Jewish neighborhood. I recommend you go to the Jewish neighborhood in Cordoba. Okay, good. I'll check it out. Good idea. Belen says, you're turning into a pro madrileño. She said it in Spanish, but estás hecho un madrileño de pro. Well, ¿qué te parece, Juanjo? Well, she says, he says, she's right. She's right. Tiene razón. I'm turning into a real madrileño. Bailando chotis y todo, ¿eh? Ya sabes. We have San Isidro coming up shortly, right? Next week. And of course, folks can celebrate that. But yeah, I do like the city. It's a nice city. I like all of Spain, though. Spain is a wonderful country. So many wonderful places to see. All over, the north, the south. I like it all. I really do. Anyway, our final sentence today, I recommend looking at a map before setting off. So this is kind of old advice or for someone who doesn't have a smartphone, right? Look at the map before setting off, before you leave the house, before you leave here, before you start the voyage, start the trip. I recommend looking at a map before setting off. So it's a good phrasal verb, un verbo compuesto, un phrasal verb, to set off, to start the trip. I recommend looking at a map before setting off. That way, that way, you won't get lost. There you go. Hopefully people are not getting lost with this class and with the content. Let's quickly go back to the beginner sentence. He never has coffee during the week. So tomar un café, to have a coffee. Remember that? That's our key point there. He never has coffee during the week, like entre semana. From Monday through Friday, we say during the week. He never has coffee during the week. The intermediate sentence, could I speak to Mr. X? Oh, good morning. This is Z, or this is Z. I'm calling on behalf of Y. So, could I speak to Fitz, please? Oh, good morning. This is Kyle. I'm calling on behalf of Juanjo, for example. Advanced, I recommend looking at a map before setting off. That way, you won't get lost. Interesting. Okay, thank you for watching, folks. We're out of time, but I want to thank you for watching today. And I hope you'll join me again tomorrow for another edition. Tomorrow we'll explore class number 89. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Sigue este programa en Radio TDT, Internet, podcast o en la aplicación para el móvil. Este verano tenemos un montón de planes para ti y tus hijos, para toda la familia. Ven a Vaughan. Disfruta el verano con Vaughan. Más información en grupovaughan.com.
Cuando un directivo ya no se deja asesorar por nadie, ni es capaz de lo que sus clientes, de lo que el mercado, de lo que sus empleados solicitan, en ese momento una persona se está convirtiendo de un Nerón bueno, como lo fue históricamente, en el Nerón que ha pasado la historia, es decir, un ser despótico. Desafortunadamente, yo conozco directivos de empresas, hoy en día podrían ser denominados Nerones, porque si bien es cierto, no han quemado ciudades, pero sí que han arrasado empresas en el sentido de que han dañado a muchísimas personas pensando solo en su bien personal.
No debes perderte el seminario Emprender y Liderar, las claves del éxito, ofrecido por dos líderes, Richard Vaughan y Javier Fernández Aguado. El jueves 24 de mayo, de 16:30 a 20:30 horas, en Áncora, Madrid, calle Trafalgar 6. No dejes pasar tu oportunidad. Entra en grupovaughan.com/seminario.